Hello everyone, welcome back to my additional mathematics channel. So for today's video lesson, I will share with you how to solve the vector problem. The vector is very important topic in additional maths. So let's get started with the class. Have fun! Hello everyone, today I will discuss vectors. Okay, vectors in focus. So let's read the question. Diagram 2 shows a triangle PQR. The point S lies on PR and the point T lies on PQ. The straight line QS intersects the straight line RT at the point U. So the keywords are point S lies on PR and point T lies on PQ, right? So let's study the diagram. Okay, let's have a look of the diagram. So you're given the triangle, which is PQR, and you have the point S on PR and TUR is a straight line. So let's read the ratio. The most important for vector is labeling the ratio. So now I'm going to label the ratio on the diagram. So we have the PR, which is 5 vector X. Okay, and then let's study the ratio for PR is actually 4. That means we are going to divide the line into 4 portions, and SR is 1 portion, so that means PS will be 3 portions, right? So if you have 5x divided by 4, that means 1 portion is actually 5x divided by 4, right? So for SR is actually 5 over 4x. Agree? And then for the PS will be 3 times, right? You have to take 4 minus 1, which is 3. Then the vector for PS will be 3 times 5 over 4x, right? So basically when you see the vector, you must understand the concept of the ratio. Alright, so let's see the PR is given the magnitude of 5 vector X. So okay, I draw the line PR. So okay, for this line you will have 4 portions. So roughly I label like this, and the whole length is 5x, right? So I'm going to divide by 4. 5x divided by 4. That means one part or one portion is you take the whole length divided by 4. Understand? So that's how you work out the vector. Okay, for the green one, which is actually just one portion, which is S to R, is actually 5x over 4. Understand? So the balance will be 3 times 5x over 4. Alright? Okay, make sure you understand the basic concept of the ratio. 3 times 5x over 4. Okay. After you understand the ratio, then you can simplify. So that means from P to S is actually 15 over 4x, right? So we are going to label on the line vector P to S, which is 15 over 4x, right? Okay, so we need to label everything clearly before we actually solve the vector problem, and then we need to be very careful. So now I'm going to label PS is 15 over 4x, right? And the XR is 5 over 4x. Alright, S to R. Alright, okay, settle. If possible, we label arrow. It's very important. This is P to S and this is S to R. Very important for vector. Direction is everything. Okay, direction is very important. Now we have settled the vector PS and SR. Now let's go to vector PQ and PT. Okay, for vector PQ and PT, okay, so we just highlight the ratio first. So PQ, we are having the ratio which is 3, right? And then PT is just 1. So the balance, the remaining TQ should be 3 minus 1, which is 2. So that's how you do ratio. Okay, so you label the ratio on the line before we proceed to the solving problem of the vector. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to solve the vector problem after I labeling everything. So we are given RQ is 2y, right? Okay, so we have to label R to Q with the arrow. Now I'm using the blue color. R to Q is 2y, right? Okay, so we have vector 2y from R to Q. Now let's read the question. Express in terms of x and y for vector QS. So I'm going to find the vector QS. So let's go to the diagram and then let's see where is the QS. So we draw a yellow line. Can you see? Okay, I'm going to draw the vector QS after I putting the arrow that is called vector. Before I put the arrow is line segment. So okay, Q to S. So you have two ways to do. Either you want to go from Q to P, then P to S. Alright, I'm not going to use Q to P, P to S because I don't have the vector from Q to P, right? So I will choose this one, the green road, because I have the vector negative 2y and negative 5 over 4x, right? So the resultant vector QS is actually QR plus RS, triangle law, right? Okay, let's write down the triangle law. Okay, for QS is equal to Q, okay, QR plus RS, right? Okay, now let's see, simplify negative 2y minus 5 over 4x. So we have solved the vector QS and make sure we double check and no careless mistake. Alright, so we have settled this vector QS equal to QR plus RS. Now we will actually try to solve the other one. Alright, so let's clear some space. So now we have to study the diagram carefully before we proceed. So I'm going to sketch out the RT. Can you see the purple color vector RT? Right, can, right? So I actually, if I want to go from R to T, I can go from R to P, then P to T. That is so-called triangle law. Now you have to travel like you are going from one place to another place, right? From R to T, that is a shortcut. Then R to P, P to T, this is another way of going. So we have two ways. So let's write down the triangle law. For the RT is equal to R, P, right? And then we plus with the PT, right? Okay, so this is the triangle law. And we substitute the vector. Inside is negative 5x plus 1 over 3 vector PQ. So alright, so as I mentioned to you, you look at the PQ, you have to use the big triangle, right, to find the vector PQ first before you can solve further. Alright, so PQ is actually PR plus RQ, right? So we are going to substitute the vector into the PQ before we simplify. So we have negative 5x plus 1 over 3, and then PR is actually 5x plus the RQ is actually 2y. So now we have to solve the like term. Negative 5x plus 5 over 3x, and then 1 over 3 times the 2 is 2 over 3y, right? So you can press your calculator. Negative 5 plus 5 over 3. Alright, you get negative 10 over 3x plus 2 over 3y, right? So this is a vector. Alright, so we need to make sure is correct. We need to double check, make sure there is no careless mistake. Okay, you can make the denominator the same like this. Okay, times 3 up and down. Okay, so that's how you solve. Alright, so we have solved the two vectors which are very important. For part B, using RU equal to HRT, and then QU equal to KQS. So you have to find the value of the H and K and H are constant. So for this part it's very easy because you already got RT, right? So you just substitute in. So RU equal to HRT. RT is negative 10 over 3x plus 2 over 3y. We just found just now. So for vector, we always write the number in front of the vector. Negative 10 over 3h, okay, bracket x, plus 2 over 3h bracket y, 2 over 3h bracket y. Don't forget about the h. Alright, so the h is a number, is a constant, so it must be always to the left, right, of the vector. Okay, now we write the vector QU. Okay, QU is also given, so we just substitute accordingly. So we will write down the QU equal to K. Okay, we will substitute the vector inside. So we will write the K, then we will write the vector just now we found. Alright, then we will simplify into how many K, how many KY, and how many KX. So you have negative 5 over, we prefer to write the X come first, negative 5 over 4K X, right? And then minus, okay, 2K Y, you can write like this, plus negative 2KY. It's okay, but if you want to simplify further, it will be negative 5 over 4KX minus 2KY, right? Alright, understand? So for vector, we always write the answer in order with the x followed by y, and make sure it is actually simplest form. Alright, okay, so we can write the answer like this, negative 5 over 4kx minus 2ky, and make sure you write carefully and make sure you double check there is no careless mistake for vector. Alright, so now we actually need to solve the constant. Alright, so this part is a bit challenging, but I just want to tell you there are two ways to solve this one. Alright, either you use the equal vector or you use the triangle law. Okay, normally up to you. If you use the triangle law, okay, then you have to form the equation using the triangle law, then only you can solve. So okay, so now we have the vector QU already. So now we want to form, we want to connect the RU and QU to form an equation, then we can solve. In order to connect them, so we have to actually use a triangle law. Understand? Because triangle law is an equation. So with the equation, then we can solve. Or else you actually find the equal vector. That means if you are having vector QU, so you from the RU you can find the vector QU, right? So now let's see, we go to the diagram. We want to focus where is the vector that we found just now. We have the two vector, right? So alright, so let's go to the diagram and see where is the triangle. So I have RU here. Can you see the green? Okay, I have the QR. Okay, this I have the QU. So this is a triangle that you're supposed to use for the triangle law. So you can say RU equal to RQ plus QU. You can write down the triangle law and then you substitute everything inside later. So Q to U is actually you can write RU is equal to RQ plus QU, right? Okay, this is the triangle law. Follow the triangle law, right? We have to follow the triangle law whenever we want to solve any of the vector problem, right? Alright, so now we will use the two vector just now, RU and QU, right? We have two vector just now. So we will substitute the RU and QU into the triangle law so that we can solve it later. So RU is equal to RQ plus the QU, right? So this is a triangle law. So now we need to solve the triangle law carefully so that we can get the answer. So let's do it carefully. So we have RU, right? We copy down the RU, and we have the QU, we copy down, and then we connect them using the triangle law. Okay, so now we are going to actually form the equation to solve the H and K. So now let's see how to do. Okay, so I'm going to substitute negative 10 over 3 H X plus, alright, 2 H over 3 Y is equal to the RQ just now we have, right? If you look at the diagram for the triangle law, just now you have RQ which is 2Y, right? Plus the QU, just now we just actually simplify the QU. So we will substitute QU is negative 5 over 4 KX minus 2KY. So we do it carefully so that we won't make careless mistake, and write your handwriting nicely and neatly. Okay, but of course your speed must be fast also. Alright, so now is the time for us to actually simplify the right hand side, negative 5 over 4 kx. Then the y, we just factorize the y, put aside. So you just plug in 2 minus 2k in the bracket. For left side is actually fine, will do. We have x and y two term. Now the most important step is we have to actually highlight. Okay, use a highlighter, highlight the number beside the x, which is negative 10 over 3h, should be equal to negative 5 over 4k. Alright, so you use a highlighter, highlight carefully and simplify carefully. So for h is equal to how many k? So you have to write carefully. There is a negative both sides, so it becomes positive. 5, 1, 5, 2, 10, right? So you can simplify by cutting. Simplify the 5 and 10, so it becomes 2. So I'm sure you will divide like this. 5 times 1, you divide by negative 5 both sides, so you have 1 and 2. So your h will be okay, so it's actually the 3 you times to the other side become 3 times the k over the 2 bring over to the other side, so you have 3k over 8, right? Are you getting 3k over 8? Alright, so now we continue by comparing the y component. So we have 2h over 3 is equal to 2 minus 2k, right? So now you need to actually do simultaneous equation. Alright, so let me explain to you again, because this part is actually quite confusing. Negative 10 over 3h is equal to negative 5 over 4k, right? So let's cancel out the x. So we will actually simplify the h equal to how many k? So the x will cancel out. The 5 and the negative 5 and the negative 10 also you can simplify. Alright, so negative 10 over 3h is equal to negative 5 over 4k, right? Alright, so now h is equivalent to how many k? Do it carefully and slow and steady. So you divide by negative 5, you got 1 at the right. At the left, you got 2, right? So that means your h is, again, I show you, is 3k over 8. Alright? Okay, confirm we have no mistake. We have double check already, right? Now this is equation number 1. Okay, now we will compare the coefficient or the number or the constant beside the y, which is 2h over 3y equal to 2 minus 2ky. You can ignore the y. You don't want to write y is okay, because it will be cancelled out. So 2h over 3 is equal to 2 minus 2k, right? So I prefer you to times the 3 to the right hand side, so it become 2h equal to this is number 2, this is equation number 2, so I'm going to substitute 1 into 2, so it will become 2h equal to, if I times 3, it will become 2h equal to 6 minus 6k, right? Okay, so it looks easier if you make it into without fraction. So 2h equal to 6 minus 6k. So finally you will have the integer without fraction. So you substitute the h equal to 3k over 8 equal to 6 minus 6k. Now you can simplify further. 3k over 4 equal to 6 minus 6k, and then 3k equal to you times the 4, so 3k equal to 24 minus 24k, right? If you times the okay, this one is I show you how to divide. Okay, so we have the 3k equal to 24 minus 24k, so we have 27k equal to 24, so k will be 24 over 27. So what is your answer? So you divide by 3, k is 3, 8, 24, 3, 9, 27. So finally k is 8 over 9. And then don't forget to find your h. which is where is our h? 3k over 8. So we will substitute 3. K will substitute 8 over 9, right? Okay, so we'll simplify and then we will get the answer. Alright, so okay. So the answer after you simplify is you will get the answer which is alright, so is okay, let me check again. So let's simplify carefully. So the answer is 3 times 8 over 9 over 8 is 1 over 3, right? So the answer is 1/3. So now finally we've managed to get the h is 1 over 3, right? And k is 8 over 9. Alright, so that is how you solve the vectors. Okay, so you need to be very careful when you solve the vector involving two simultaneous equation, just comparing the x component left and right. Okay, measure the left two component, the right also two component, and then you comparing the number or the scalar component for the vector x and the comparing the scalar component. Scalar means a number, okay, for the vector y for left and right. Okay, that is the way to solve vectors. It's actually come back to simultaneous equation. Next, we will solve the magnitude of the vector. Magnitude is Pythagoras theorem. So it's very easy, right? So you just focus to the length of the PR and the RQ, right? So one vector y is how many? Is 2. So you have 2 vector y. So it's 2 times 4, which is 8 units, right? So that is how you find the length. So the length is always positive. So for the PR, we have 5 times 4. Why? Because one vector x is actually 4. So we have 20 units and then 8 units. So how to find the length of PQ? Instead of say the length, we will say the magnitude of PQ. So we have PQ square equal to 8 square plus 20 square. Alright, and then PRQ is a 90 degrees, see that? So we have to use a Pythagoras theorem. So the PQ is 8 square is 64 plus 20 square is 400. So the PQ is actually 400 and then 64 square root. So you can press your calculator in decimal is 21.64, right? Is it? So you can give your answer in 4 significant figure. Okay? Oh, okay, so you can write the PQ is actually square root 464, or insert 464 is 4 square root 29, or is equal to the decimal number. Alright, so we have solved everything, right, for this question, for the length and also for the solving the constant for the vector. So magnitude, how we write magnitude is we write 2 line. The bodyguard of the PQ is equal to 21.64 units. Alright, so I think I have solved everything with you. So okay, so we have complete the vector solving problem. So that's all my sharing for today. Till then, I shall see you in my next video sharing. Bye bye and have a nice day.